Welcome to Comms Business Live. My name's David Dungay, editor and publisher of Comms Business Magazine. Today, I have with me Kevin Timms from EACS and, so let me get this right, Adam Zoldan from Knight Corporate Finance. Welcome to the show, guys. How are we today?
Good.
Yeah, great. Yeah. Good to see you, Dave.
Yeah, you too. Hair's not quite at Dave Dungay standards yet, Adam.
No, I'm getting there.
So you're not too long out of a fundraise deal, which you worked on together for EACS. Kevin, first let's start with you. Tell us a little bit about yourself and the business, and perhaps some of the steps that led up to this period for you.
Okay, so a little bit of background. I was my background is out of corporate. I was CIO in Ford Motor Company for many years, and decided to switch horses and get into the managed service business, which we did about 4 years or so ago. We raised the money, bought EACS 3 years ago, and the loan that we used to buy that, also we used Knight to help us do that, came due. So that fund closed, and we needed to raise the money to buy that fund out. Now it had reduced because we've been paying it down, but we also wanted a little bit of cash injection to help us with our continued growth. So with Knight's help, we raised the money from Shawbrook and got the deal done right in the middle of COVID-19.
Wow! So interesting time to go about a fundraise. Tell us, was it all smooth sailing? How was that?
Oh, I wish it was. No, it always starts out smooth, but literally we got Shawbrook all lined up, and then COVID-19 happened and the lockdown occurred. In fact, it was one of the last days we were able to get out and travel that they came to visit the site. So as you can imagine, lots of scrutiny around our business and would we survive and what would happen if this happened, and an awful lot of what if scenarios of our business. But we survived all of those, but it was a huge effort to get that done. But got all through it, and then got the deal done right at the end of May.
All right. And what was that like on your side?
Yeah, I mean, it was interesting because it's just a scenario that you wouldn't expect. Everything was running smoothly, and suddenly the lockdown came. Well, not out of nowhere, but the impacts of it became immediately severe. The interesting thing was that the bank didn't really blink in terms of the sector and the ability of the company to continue, because it's got a good proportion of recurring revenue and some great long-term customers. So from that side, they did seem happy, but the intensity of the analysis around the short-term cash flow was where we had to put a real shift in, I think. And fortunately, the business held up. It's very well managed. It's got a great plan for the future, and so we came good. But I think we'll be looking back on this in a year or two and just sort of realizing what an achievement it was for the team to be able to complete it. So
yeah, okay, Kevin, tell us a little bit about your customer base through this period. I'm hearing mixed stories on the channel. Some people are flying, some people are okay, other people are not so. What are your customers telling you at the moment?
All of those, all of the above. So I mean, we don't particularly focus on any one sector. We do have a significant number of financial services clients amongst our managed service portfolio, and those have been doing really well, and largely been unaffected. They've been able to work and operate from home. But we also have manufacturing businesses, and they've basically shut down, fully furloughed, and completely gone on hold. The good news is they're now starting to come back. So a number of projects we had, I mean, some of them we had a 60-day project that got 5 days to go to complete, and that just went on hold. So that's now finishing up, and we're sort of getting going again. So it has been quite varied, and very much, obviously, as you can imagine, by sector.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so you got your funding on board. You got through the squeaky moment, shall we say? What now? Businesses are starting to open up again. Some of those deals that were deferred are starting to complete. What does this mean for you now as a business?
Well, it's more growth. So we've grown the business from sort of about 15 million 3 years ago to 24 million this just last financial year we've closed. So we did one acquisition in the middle of that of 2 million. So most of that has come from the growth of the business. So we've got a simple mantra, and that is more, and continue to focus on our growth. The investment that we've got in from Shawbrook, a couple of things we're doing, focusing on the Power Apps platform on Microsoft. That's so the business intelligence reporting is becoming really key. And then another area of focus for us is our service desk, which by the end of July will be moving to 7x24. So some of that investment additional investment that we got, we're using to do that growth. So it's continuing to look for the opportunities, what clients are looking for now. The world has changed and will be different, and for us, it's about looking at how we can do that. The reliance on large on-prem installations are gone. We were already doing, 3/4 of our projects were cloud-based, moved to Azure or Office 365. So I can only see that ratio continue to grow. So it's more of that, and focus more energy into those spaces.
Interesting. I mean, how sort of far forward do you think this situation has catapulted us in terms of an industry? The cloud world, it's been coming. It's been coming for a while, but now it feels like it's going to come a whole lot quicker now. I mean, what's your perspective on that?
I think there are some sectors that were really dragging their feet on cloud, really not really wanting to trust it. I think that's probably a 3 or 4 year acceleration that we've seen in terms of them recognizing that they have no choice, that the world has changed. The cloud is the place to be. It's the way you can get access to your applications wherever you are in the world, and you have no choice anymore. And I think there's that some organizations will see a massive jump forward. Now, we have other organizations that have already taken that. In fact, we had just shortly after the lockdown a really nice email from one of our clients that said, really, thank you very much for advising us to move to the cloud. If we hadn't have done it, would have been in real trouble now. But if you've ensured we've been able to work.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, for some of those businesses and all those decision makers within businesses, do you think there's going to be a bit of a removal of the fear factor? Rewind back to March, a lot of businesses had to make decisions very quickly. How do we get to remote working? How do we get to the cloud? And how do we do it fast? That was a scary thing to do a year or two ago in a short space of time. Is that fear factor just gone?
I think in a lot of cases it absolutely has. So I join a forum of CEOs that they get together about once every month or so, sharing stories. They're all from the sort of Cambridge area. Some big companies as part of that, and all of them have said, thank goodness for technology. If it hadn't have been for Teams and Zoom, our business would have died. And all of them have talked about how technology's enabled their business to happen. And I don't think they'd ever realized that before, how technology can be such an enabler for their business. I came out of manufacturing, and IT was often seen as a cost, not an enabler. And I've seen a lot of people have a very different attitude post-COVID.
Yeah, I mean that's a fundamental shift. Adam, tell us, what does this mean for the M&A sector? You seem really slow down very much. What can we look forward to?
Yeah, I mean, again, we had short-term impacts, just people drawing back from deals. We had a few things go on hold. They've come back. We are seeing activity. I mean, really, just for all the reasons that Kevin's just mentioned, the perception of the whole channel really has gone through the roof, and it is responsible for keeping everyone at work, and that really has been reflected by in terms of banks, private equity, other sort of larger companies on buy and build strategies, all found that they still have the liquidity and the funding to keep investing, and that's what we're seeing really. So I mean, in terms of the new normal and enabling the new normal, that is going to be enabled by the channel, and that's another opportunity. And so from our perspective, it sort of not quite business as usual yet, but we're pretty close to it. And whatever ambitions and opportunities you have for your business, I would say that you don't need to pare them down at all. In fact, you should potentially can be more optimistic. So yeah, we think that that whatever plans you have for your business are still very much intact.
Yeah, I mean, do you think the channel maybe reacted too quickly to the furlough scheme when it was first announced? They've done a great job in allowing these businesses to remain functional through this period. But then we have some channel partners who have made large percentage of their workforce. They've put them into furlough, and this is a market that should be at the forefront of this technology. Do you feel like maybe some people jumped on that a little bit too quickly?
Yeah, perhaps you can sort of understand, cash is king when it comes to these situations, and the ability to be able to preserve it is quite a big lure. But our view is that the pandemic will show that fortune favors the brave, and the guys who are out there on BAU are the guys that are going to do well. Yeah.
Okay. Kevin, tell us about the next year, if you can. It's a hard one to sort of map out in our minds right now, but what are you looking to achieve really over the next 12 months?
Well, one of the things I was going to pick up on was the comment that Adam made around fortune favors the brave, and we've actually really picked up our recruitment again now, and in fact picked up a number of people that are on furlough from competitors that people are sort of saying, well, actually, they furloughed me. I could be on furlough for till the end of October. I prefer to be active and doing something. So, we're getting a lot more inquiries from people. The quality of the staff that we're now starting to come through to us, unsolicited through our website and so forth, has grown dramatically, which is really good news. So we're always one for continuing to push for that growth, and we'll do so. There's a number of things that we're doing that, as well as the 7x24 and the power apps I talked about. The other one is our channel business. We've recently recruited a manager for our channel partners, and we've started working with a number of telecoms companies to resell our services through them, so that they get the benefit of some of that renewable revenue as well. So there's a lot of opportunity out there, and working with sort of partners that are willing to do that and willing to grow with us is part of our focus as well. So we expect to continue our growth story and really focused on that, particularly around our managed service.
Brilliant. Okay, well, I think that's a great place to end today's stream. Adam, Kevin, thank you so much for joining me, and I wish you both good luck in your future endeavours.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Cheers now. See you, David.
And thank you for watching. You've been watching Comms Business Live with me, David Dungay.